It was 4 months ago when my new neighbors moved in. I was used to the neighboring house being empty since the previous occupants had moved out a few months earlier, which was no big loss because I never got on with them. That family seemed to think I was to blame for my wife leaving me, despite everyone else knowing it was my wife who had the affair and had left me. So it was good to have an empty house next to mine, but even better when the new neighbors moved in. I went out to meet John and Debbie Russell when they first arrived, and we seemed to get on well, although that wasn't too much of a surprise because they are in their mid-40s, which is about the same age as me. John had obviously spent too much time drinking beer and not enough time exercising, unlike me, because he had a substantial paunch. Debbie, however, was still quite a looker and must have been quite a catch for John. She looked much younger than her actual 43. She had a lovely, lithe figure, and her soft blonde hair was worn long to her shoulders. However, it was John and Debbie's daughter who caught most of my attention when she arrived the following day after they moved in. Cindy was just a couple of months past her 18th birthday and was an incredibly sexy yet innocent-looking girl. She was blonde like her mother and wore wonderfully light and short skirts that showed off her long, smooth legs. Cindy was really pretty with her mother's blue eyes, and her tight tops clearly demonstrated that she had young and firm breasts. Having the Russells move in next to me was good, and whilst it was fun to watch both Debbie and Cindy come and go, I didn't intend to have a relationship with either of them despite my wife leaving me over a year ago. They did make for good dreams, though. So I didn't really expect to have anything more than a neighborly relationship with them. You know, the sort of thing, looking after the house when they are on holiday, taking out their rubbish bins when they forget, and taking delivery of parcels if they are out. This all changed 3 months after the Russells had moved in. It was about 8 p.m., and I was just finishing up some work I had brought home when my doorbell rang. When I answered my door, I was surprised to find Cindy standing there, and she was obviously upset. Her eyes were red and slightly puffy, and she seemed out of breath. However, this was at complete odds with the rest of her look. She was dressed up to be obviously sexy. Her long blonde hair cascaded from her head to just below her shoulders, and she was wearing a tight blouse with the top 2 buttons undone, revealing her ample cleavage and the hint of a white lace bra. Her skirt was one of her favorite short flowing skirts that stopped a few inches above her knees. Her legs were bare, and she was wearing some expensive-looking white high-heeled shoes. I realized I was staring for too long and looking up and down at her sexy body, but she didn't seem to notice. Cindy just stood there, looking upset.